Okay, I don't know how well this video is gonna go. I'm gonna try to do how many 5-star reads can I find in one video. I feel like when I'm reading, I get to this point where I have like maybe 2 5-star reads in a row, and then afterwards, the rest of them may be around like 3-star for a while. Like there's a pool. I literally have a pool right now of 3 stars, and I'm just like, oh my god, I need a 5-star read like right now. But I also have another problem where if I know I'm gonna like a book, I kind of avoid it. I guess the whole reason for this video is to try to stop doing that. I did want to pick more books for this video, but I'm like gravitating towards specific ones right now that I know I'm gonna like and that I know are potentially gonna be 5-star reads. So right now I have 3 books that I've picked. If you know me, this one right here has been a long time coming. So yeah, the first book I picked, Sunshine Court by Nora Sakavic. Then the second one is the newest addition to the All for the Game series, The Golden Raven by Nora Sakavic. I think this one's the same main character as this one, I'm pretty sure. And then the final book I picked for this video is Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune. This is the sequel to The House in the Cerulean Sea. So yeah, I don't know if there's gonna be any more books in this video other than these 3, but if these 3 don't end up being a 5-star read, then obviously there's gonna be more. Okay, so I'm on page 57, chapter 4 of Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune. This is actually taking me a lot longer than I thought, not because I'm not enjoying the book, I'm barely through the book. It's because I accidentally got distracted with watching One Tree Hill. Anyways, the only thing I know so far is that Linus and Arthur are going to the city to talk with the magical council or whatever you want to call it. They're kind of trying to see that magical beings are more accepted in this world. Oh yeah, they have a house full of magical children, if none of you have read the first book. Okay, I am going to be completely honest. I thought this would go a different way because I expected this book to be in the same timeline sort of as the first one, or it would eventually line up with the timeline of the first book. So I thought it would go like we would see Arthur setting up the house for the first time. I thought we would see the whole setup of that, like each children coming into the house, him taking care of it before Linus showed up. But this is actually continuing after the second book. It did slightly get my hopes up in the beginning because there was like a flashback right in the beginning where Arthur first came to the house, met Zoe and everything. Yeah, I just thought it would go differently. It's not bad, differently now. I kind of got used to it and like accepted the fact it's not gonna happen the way I wanted it to happen. I'm just wondering, are they married now? Because like they all live in a house together and they're about to adopt like how many children? 5, 7? Oh, they're about to get another child too, named David. I think he's a Yeti. Also, I think it's been around 4 days since I talked to you guys and I'm only 57 pages in. I think it's mostly because it's taking me a while to get back into fantasy. Also, there's like a lot of words on these pages, like if you can see that. If Linus and Arthur aren't married in this book yet, I'm hoping they get married at least by the end. I'm just hoping I won't get bored first, because normally when couples are together, I get bored really easily, which is why I was hoping it would continue with the timeline of the first book, but sadly it's not. Arthur's so sweet though. He's still my favorite character. I love him. I think the part I'm most looking forward to right now is the new kid being introduced, David. Okay, so I actually switched books. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of dreading reading this one. I don't know why I'm not in the mood for it right now. I'm just really not getting into it. So if I'm not reading this now, I might read it near the end of the video. But I decided to start The Sunshine Court by Nora Sakavic, finally. I think someone in my comments told me this one's very character driven, which I don't mind, honestly. I'm like 8% in. So our main character is Jean, and he just got out of this situation where he was a part of a really abusive sports team. So the sport in this world is Xe, and it's like a made-up sport. I don't know what the mix is. It might be soccer, rugby, hockey, whatever. Something with a net, and then something to do with sticks. Anyways, Jean used to be a part of this team called the Ravens, and he also has this really messed up loyalty towards them because they literally beat it into him. Yeah, so this poor boy just escaped, and now he's staying with a team called the Foxes, which you'll know who they are if you read the first 3 books. Yeah, and so now that Jean's out of that situation, they're trying to find him a new team to join. The Foxes won't let him go back to the Ravens even though he wants to for some reason. We all know which team he's gonna join, okay? Like if you know, you know. I haven't gotten to that part yet, but when it does happen, I'm gonna be so excited because I don't know, I feel like there's something so good about a main character who doesn't realize there's better things for him out there. He just doesn't realize it until he's shown it. That's the part I'm really looking forward to when he joins his new team. I am still kind of nervous because the first 3 books in the series was with a main character named Neil, and I really like Neil. So this is a new main character and a new 3 books. There's gonna be a 6th book coming out too. So yeah, still kind of nervous, but we'll see how his development goes. Okay, we're now 38% into The Sunshine Court by Nora Sakavic. So this is actually dual POV, which the first 3 books weren't, so I was really surprised when Jean's first name showed up and then Jeremy's name showed up 2 chapters later, and I was like, oh my god, we're getting both the perspectives, which is even better. So Jeremy is the captain of the USC Xe team, which is the Trojans, which is the team Jean's joining. Also, the first 30% of this book meshed with the 3rd book in the series, which I really liked because we got a lot of Jean's perspectives on a lot of things that happened in the 3rd book. Anyways, the only way I can describe these two, Jean and Jeremy, is like grumpy sunshine, but more like traumatized grumpy and then potentially traumatized sunshine. Although with Jeremy, I feel like it's more family issues rather than traumatized. We don't really know what his family issues are yet. It's just like hinted at. I feel like I'm gonna get their names so mixed up in this video because they both start with J. Also, the Andrew and Neil crumbs in this, I'm like eating them up. It makes me want to reread the first 3 books again so badly. Also, Renee's so sweet. I liked her in the first 3 books. I like her even more in this one. Anyways, there's a whole bunch of drama around the college exy thing right now because I don't really know how much I can tell you guys because it's like minor spoilers from the first 3 books, but it does mesh with the beginning of this one. But yeah, a lot of news going around because something tragic just happened, which is kind of the main reason why Jean is switching teams in the first place. The team it's affecting most is the Foxes, but obviously we don't get the perspective in this book, but it also is heavily affecting Jean because it did happen to his team, or past team at least, and so it's kind of affecting the Trojans a bit too because he's joining that team obviously, and so they're kind of getting a bit of heat because they signed Jean onto their team. That's pretty much it. Jean and Jeremy are about to meet for the first time in person, like officially. Like they've met throughout games and stuff, sort of, or they played against each other, but they've never actually talked to each other before other than like texting or calling on the phone ever since Jean found out he was about to be switched to another team. I'm so excited though because Jeremy is like the embodiment of sunshine, potentially traumatized sunshine again, but still sunshine. And then we can slowly see Jean kind of healing. He's like taking it one step at a time, which I really like because so much happened to him. And again, I really wish I could tell you guys, but it's definitely spoilers probably. Okay, I'm now 59% into the Sunshine Court. I feel like I'm flying through this book. I've been reading all day because I've been liking it so much. Also, remember when I said we're healing before? We're not exactly healing yet. There's so much to unpack. This boy has been through so much trauma, but he's in LA now where his new team is. They haven't started practice yet, but he's like getting used to the environment, I guess. So he's now rooming with 2 new roommates, Kat and Layla, I think, and then Jeremy visits really often because they're his 2 best friends. Him and Jeremy are going to be hanging out a lot because with his previous team, the Ravens, they kind of worked in pairs sort of thing. It was like this weird system, but yeah, once the school year starts, him and Jeremy are going to be hanging out a lot more, which I'm excited. I like them already. Like Jeremy's the yapping type and then Jean kind of just exists. They're still trying to pry a lot of information out of him from his time with the Ravens, but it's not exactly working out that well. Also, I forgot people kept saying this, but apparently Nora Sakovic specifically wrote Jeremy dyeing his hair blonde because he's like the sunshine in the story. Before his hair was brown, but she specifically changed his hair color in this book. I can definitely see why there's going to be a 5th and 6th book. The healing journey is definitely going to take a while, which is reasonable because we keep getting flashbacks of his time at his previous university. I don't even know how to describe to you guys like what went on over there. Also, Jeremy's past still hasn't been revealed. We're still waiting for that, but it sounds like a legal issue because when they were jogging and they ran into cops at the park, Jeremy kind of purposefully avoided the park. So I don't know what's going on with him, but hopefully we'll find out soon. And then with Jean, I don't know if they specified in the 3rd book why he got beat up so heavily, but it hasn't been revealed in this book yet, so I'm just gonna wait for that. The Ravens were so controlling though. It's kind of scary once you read this book. Like in the first 3 books, we had Kevin as an example, but we didn't see him before he got out. We only saw Kevin's after result, sort of. We never actually saw him like coming out of the nest. I'm just waiting for the part where they start playing because I'm seriously wondering how that's gonna go with the rest of the team. He's only met 3 teammates, obviously, which is Jeremy, Kat, and Layla. He hasn't met the rest of them, and there's like a lot of people on the USC team, so I'm just waiting to see how that goes. Also, this definitely feels different from the first 3 books, but I'm liking it. I'm really liking it. It's just the first 3 books, we were obviously seeing like this extremely traumatized team. Every single player on the team was traumatized, and then this one is just Jean, who's surrounded by a bunch of sunshines. Okay, I'm now 76% into the Sunshine Court. I can see why people say this is character driven, and honestly, I kind of love most of the characters that have shown up so far. Obviously, I love Jeremy, love Kat too. Also, I don't think I emphasized how much I love Jeremy and Jean together. It's subtle, but they're so cute. I feel like this romance is more there than the first 3 books, but it's not there. It's more subplot still, if you know what I mean. Also, I love the fact that they made Jean obsessed with Jeremy's blonde hair because the first time Jeremy got his hair dyed, the only word that came out of Jean's mouth was blonde, and I just started laughing. Also, Jeremy being obsessed with like Jean trying out different colored shirts because all they wore in like the Raven Court side was black, and so he's trying on different colors because his roommates keep convincing him to do it, and so Jeremy just staring at him whenever he does it. It's so good. I'm so glad I picked this book for this video though. Like I have a feeling this is gonna be a 5 stars, definitely. I'm 76% in, and all they've been doing is just living life, and I love it. Oh right, they're back to practicing now. Most of his teammates are so sweet though, except for Lucas. I don't know if I like him too much right now. I feel like Jean is secretly just such a sweet boy. I have no clue why, but that's the impression I get from him, even though he's so grumpy too. I don't know, just the way Nora Sakovic writes characters is so good, and I'm already so obsessed, and I can't wait to read the next book. Although after the next book, I'm gonna have to wait until the 3rd TSC book comes out, and I think that's gonna be the final one in the Sunshine Court trilogy. I hope she writes more afterwards. I mean, I have a feeling she might not, but still I'm like really hoping. I don't know what other characters she would write about though, because I remember reading on like Tumblr or something, the only reason she wrote Jean's story is because he still has unsolved problems, but I'm trying to think of anyone else she could write about, and sadly I'm coming up blank. Okay, I just finished The Sunshine Court by Nora Sakovic, and we have our first 5-star read of the video. 1 down. I don't know how many more to go. It was so good though. I knew I would like it, and I really liked it. Just him slowly making friends with people I like so much, and then I don't know, just this slow development. I can't wait to read the next book. I'm gonna read it right after this. I love Jeremy too. He's like so protective. It's like really subtle, but he's very, very protective protective over Jean. Also, we saw Neil a lot more in this book than I thought we would, which I'm really happy about. Also, this was dual POV, but I feel like we got more of Jean's perspective rather than Jeremy's, which I was okay with because the way this was described, this is supposed to be his healing journey, so I'm fine with getting more of his perspective. He's such an interesting character. Like, I really like him, and he has so much to work through, and I can't wait to see what's going to be like in the end. Also, I can see the romance happening. There was like no romance in this book basically, but I know there's going to be some in the second book, and I can't wait. I'm just wondering when the third book's coming out. I don't know if I'm going to be able to wait for that one. It's going to be torture. Also, throughout this entire book, Jean developed like a habit of touching Jeremy's chin, and I was freaking out every single time, even though it's like the tiniest thing. It was so good. I was eating up every single crumb I got. Also, there was this quote in here that was like, in Jean's perspective, after Jeremy bleached his hair, it was like, damn him for looking as good blonde as he did brunette. I was like, yes, him being obsessed with his blonde hair, confirmed. Also, I really like Kat. I didn't know how I felt about her in the beginning, but I slowly started to like her, and now I love her so much. I hope we get to know more of his teammates, although I don't mind his like little circle of his roommates and Jeremy. I really like the ending of this book though. It was so sweet, and I like the impact that Neil had on him and how his words impacted Jean near the end. But yeah, I can't wait for the next book. Okay, I don't have it with me right now, but I believe I'm around 8% in The Golden Raven by Inor Sakovic. This one's so much thicker than the other one though. Like, I'll show you guys my physical copy later, but it's like twice the size of the first. Something messy happened in the beginning of this book though, and like I don't know how it's gonna play out through the rest of this book. Like, I don't know if it's gonna be there in the background for us or if it's just gonna go away. Also, Jeremy, we're slowly figuring out his family situation. He doesn't seem to like his stepfather very much, which not sure why, but he does seem kind of not great. So honestly, I'm all for hating the stepfather. I'm just wondering how the Jean Jeremy thing is gonna happen, you know, like what's gonna start it? Because with Andrew and Neil, it was so interesting. It's just like you were expecting it, but you didn't expect the way it happened, sort of thing, you know? Or at least I didn't for some reason. When I imagined Andrew and Neil, did not expect their relationship to turn out the way it turned out, but I loved them. So I'm hoping I'll love these two just as much. Honestly, I probably will. It's just I'm scared to finish this trilogy once the last book comes out. I really hope this doesn't put me in another reading slump, because the first AFTG books put me in a reading slump, and it was actually bad. And what I mean is, it was so good and I loved it so much that I just couldn't read anything else for I don't know how long. It was kind of torture, not gonna lie. Okay, it's been a while because it's exam season right now, but I did manage to read some today, even though I have an exam tomorrow, which is probably bad, but whatever. So I'm now 20% into The Golden Raven. I don't know if I'm loving this one more or just as much as The Sunshine Court. Like, it's really good. Also, just everyone on the team getting used to Jean, I guess. I don't know, they're all just so nice, which is what this poor guy needs. Also, you can kind of tell that Jeremy and Jean kind of have a thing for each other, but they haven't really voiced it yet. They've just kind of been asked about it. Also, I love Cody. They're a side character, but you can slowly see them and Jean just becoming closer friends, I guess. Oh my god, also Jeremy's learning French, because currently in LA, Jean has no one to talk to in French, and so Jeremy's learning because of him. Oh my god, there was this one part, and I think maybe chapter 3, where Jeremy had gone home for a little bit. Also, we hate Jeremy's family, by the way. Yeah, so Jeremy went home for a family dinner or something, and then he went back to Kat, Layla, and Jean's dorm, and Jean was kind of speaking to him in his own way until like Jeremy fully came back, and he said something like, "There you are," and I was like screaming on the inside, and Jeremy got like this warm fuzzy feeling on the inside, and I love it. Okay, I'm now 39% into The Golden Raven. I seriously love how everyone gets mad for Jean, because he normally doesn't get too mad for himself. He normally blames himself for everything, and so I kind of like that everyone gets angry for his sake. Also, a bunch of secrets are being revealed right now, like secrets we already knew, but Jean's new team didn't know, and so he kind of trusts them enough now to tell them. Not fully, obviously, because we know how these books go at this point. It's so funny when secrets come out, like not funny, but funny, if you know what I mean. I don't know why, just the absurdity of it, I just start laughing, because like there's this mobster gangster thing in this book, Japanese mafia too, just like a bunch of wild things, and then when they get revealed eventually, everyone's just like baffled. Also, this feels so different from Neil and Andrew's relationship, like Jean and Jeremy. It's so subtle, it's so good so far. I feel like I've said that multiple times. Like, it doesn't feel forced or anything. It's like very good progression in their relationship. Oh, also Kevin showed up. I love how much of Neil and Kevin we're getting in this book. Also Andrew, I hope we get another like Neil and Andrew appearance. I just want them together. I want to see them together. I will take all the Neil and Andrew comes I can get. Okay, I'm now 73% into The Golden Raven. Also, I forgot to show you guys how big this book was compared to The Sunshine Court. Like, this is The Sunshine Court, this is The Golden Raven. Like, if you put them side by side, I don't know if you can see that because the pages are all really white. It's flying by though. I don't want it to end because the third book isn't out yet. It's getting so good though, like the romance. Oh my god, I forgot to mention, but there was like this fireworks scene. It like really showed his progress with his team and everything, and like how his life has changed so much from the Ravens, and it was so cute. Also, there was this one hotel room scene. Literally nothing happened between them. It was just them fixing their collars and ties for each other. Oh my god, and then Jeremy came back into the room with like bruises around his neck, and then Jean was like, "Give me a name," and I was like screaming. I was up until 5 a.m. reading this. I wanted to keep reading, but I have a test today, so I couldn't do that. Oh my god, the coaches in this book are so nice though. Like, Coach Wymack in the first trilogy was really nice, but then Coach Riemann in this book, I think that's how you pronounce his name, he's so nice. Like, he does everything he can to make Jean feel comfortable and then like protect him him and everything. Oh my god, Jean is so protective over Jeremy though. I was expecting it, but at the same time I wasn't expecting it. He literally threw his brother against the car for him. Also, we learned so much about Jeremy's past, like so much, and it's so tragic. Also, I really love Jean and Kat's friendship. Like they're so cute because Kat does this thing every now and then where she like grabs his head and like kisses him on the forehead, and like without thinking, Jean did the same thing towards her. He's like finally comfortable enough around them, and it's so sweet. See, I told you guys, deep down he's such a sweet boy. He's just extremely traumatized. He's progressed so much in this book. I'm so happy. Anyways, I got to get going, eat something before my exam. Wish me luck. We officially found our second 5-star read of the video, and potentially our last because I'm really tempted to stop here. Normally after 2 is when my luck runs out, so the video might end here. Oh my god, this was so good though. Honestly, I'd say it was even better than the first book, and I loved the first book, or technically 4th book and 5th book. I really want the 6th book, but I don't know when it's coming out. As depressing as some parts were, this was like so cute. Like compared to the first 3 books, this is just characters living their lives while tragic things happen. A building burnt down, they got a dog at the end. I don't know how much of a spoiler that is. I mean, it's a dog. They got a pet. That's pretty much it. But just the way Jean is so protective of all of them now, like he loves them so much, and I love him so much. I wish this book was bigger, and this book was so big. Like I want more. I desperately want to know when the 6th book is coming out, but that's probably going to be the last one, and I don't know if she's going to write more after this or if she's going to stop, which is scary to think about. I feel like I should have waited until I figured out when the release date for the 6th book was. Also, Jeremy learning French the entire book, it made me so happy. And then him just trying it out on Jean, and then Jean just being like, you can't be serious. Also at the same time, he was secretly happy, which made me even more happy. Okay, I know I said I was going to read Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune, but if I'm being honest, I don't feel like reading this anymore, and I don't think it's going to be a 5-star read anymore because I know how it's going to go now, and it's not the way I wanted it to go. So I might just save that for another video sometime. Sorry if it seemed like I was extremely rusty this video, because I was. I really was. I haven't filmed a video in so long, or like a reading vlog in so long. I've been filming sit down videos because I haven't been reading. These 2 may potentially put me in a reading slump. I don't know what I'm going to read now. Also, I think I am going to end the video here because these were the only ones I really predicted like 100% to be 5 stars, and I can't really think of any more right now. Again, usually my luck runs out after 2, which sucks, but that's just normally how it goes. So yeah, this was pretty much a Sunshine Court reading vlog, but I'm hoping AFTG fans will somehow find me and like it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!